Hello, everybody. Dr. Lonnie Stewart here from the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. Are you a physical therapy student about to start studying for the National Physical Therapy Examination? Or maybe you're a professor, a program director, or clinical instructor who teaches DPT students preparing for the NPTE? Either way, we would recommend checking out our sponsor, NPTE Final Frontier, and the community they've built around preparing for and succeeding on the NPTE. That exam and the preparation that goes along with it can be long, tedious, difficult, and stress inducing, but it doesn't have to be. NPTE Final Frontier has the tactics and resources to help address all of the usual barriers. They even have scholarships to help with NPTE study courses, FSBPT registration fees, and even research opportunities. And if that's not enough, they're even donating to the very first annual HET Podcast Scholarship to be awarded at the end of every year. Go to npteff.com for all of the details and use code HET for 10% off all purchases. Links to both the NPTE Final Frontier and their scholarship options are available in the show notes. And now, let's get ready to learn.
Hello, everybody. Dr. F. Scott Feil here with another Teach Me Something Tuesday episode of the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. Today's episode is all about developing a classroom environment of respect. Now, this can be a tough one because nowadays we have so much technology. We have our cell phones, we have our laptops, we have our iPads, and we unfortunately and fortunately get to use those to educate, right? We can use apps, we can use programs, we can use videos, we can use things during class that can be helpful with things like note taking, with things like demonstrations, trying to point out and make points using videos. All these things are great. But at the end of the day, when you're teaching and educating, there's times where you have to reel it in and really command the classroom and gain the respect and the attention of your students. Sometimes disciplinary tones and actions are needed, but it's also essential to smile and laugh with your students too. It makes you more human to them. I think they end up respecting you more, and you can build great relationships from there. For me, it kind of starts very early on in any semester in trying to build a classroom that is a safe learning environment, one where we're not going to make fun of people or point at people and laugh and we're just not going to do that, right? There's no stupid answers, there's no stupid questions, there's no need to worry here. This is a place to make mistakes, to fail, and to learn from those mistakes and failures and grow from them. And if you start that out early and you start with that as the foundation and the basis for how your class is going to run, you can then kind of grow from there and build up the scaffolding of respect by, again, just teaching, educating, having fun, laughing, making jokes, right? But also being serious and having that disciplinary or authoritarian tone when it's needed. So it's important that you educate and that you have the time to go through all the things that you need to do to transfer the knowledge and to present it in several different ways, and leave time for pauses and reflection and thought process and let the brain really sink in, right? And think through what it is that you're trying to accomplish from a learning standpoint. But again, there's also times where you have to rein it in and you have to be a little bit firm, right? You have to realize that, hey, look, at the end of the day, I'm here to teach you. I'm here to educate you. I want to have a good time and get to know you and have fun and make jokes and do all that. But at the same time, you have to realize that it took me a long time to get to this point and realize that I may know a thing or two just based off my sheer life experiences and age, right? Knowledge is wisdom, and it comes from not only learning the stuff that you're teaching, but also from the reps and putting in the time and the experience. And it's fun to connect and to be on that same level with your students at times. But it's just like having a child, right? You're not that child's best friend. That's not your goal. That's not what you're setting out to be. You have to be an authoritarian at sometimes. You have to lay down the law and be firm. You have to set boundaries. And by doing that in a respectful manner, in a respectful way, and knowing when to ramp up the tone a little bit, that can really help and go a long way with developing that environment in the classroom of respect. And it goes both ways too, right? You as a teacher have to respect your students as well and know that they come to the table with different life experiences, and that they can probably teach you a thing or two as well. I learn from my students all the time. I'm completely fine with that. But when it comes to being the shepherd and the guide, you've got to be the one to step up and command their respect to show them, hey, I can get you from point A to point B and help you become the person that I need you to be by the end of this course. I can help by teaching you and educating you the things that you need to know to succeed. You've got to trust and respect me and what I know and what I bring to the table, and I will do the same for you. But at the end of the day, in order to make that transformation, in order to gain knowledge, in order to truly transfer the knowledge, there has to be a level of respect, and you have to command that at times from your students. So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, I think these things are really points of reflection, and then kind of figuring out how you're going to implement these things when it comes to your teaching methods and your style, and your particular labs or classrooms or whatever setting you teach in. So hopefully that respect goes not only in the classroom, but then beyond the classroom walls as well. So out in the general public, in the clinic, at home, at your church, in life in general. Respect is something that is earned, right? And it takes a long time to get there, and it's very easy to lose it and break it. So it's a long, slow build, but at the same time, if you're consistent with the things you do and the way that you act, people will give you that respect over time. So, like I said, hope that was helpful, and we'll see you on the next one. Well, I hope that episode was entertaining as much as it was informational and educational. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our past episodes, we ask you to please subscribe to the podcast and leave us a rating and review. And please share out the episodes to those who you feel may be able to benefit from them. We also urge you to follow us on all social media platforms at HET Podcast and let us know what topics or experts you would like to hear from in future episodes. And just as a reminder, none of the information on today's show should be considered medical advice. It's simply infotainment or edutainment to help educate our audience. For medical advice, we always advise you to reach out to your preferred medical professionals, and we'll see you on the next show.